This is video 4 for Anatomy and Physiology, Chapter 6, Bone. So in the last video, we talked about the first type of bone, and that was a long bone. And we looked at some of the terminology associated with that. A lot of that terminology is also used in the other bones, although they might not have a diaphysis or a shaft on the bone. So our second classification is a short bone. And short bones are cube-like structure, whereas a long bone was elongated. This is shorter. It's more of a cube. We would still have the possibility of having marrow in there. And examples of this would be the carpals and tarsals. So if you don't know what those are, the carpals are the wrist bones and tarsals are the ankle bones. So they're rather short, chunky little bones. Our third type are flat bones. So these are thin and they are used mainly for protection and for muscle attachment, especially for large muscles. So good examples of this would be the sternum. And the sternum is used to protect your heart, but it also serves as an attachment site for some pretty big muscles like the pecs, the pectoralis major muscle. We have the sternum, the scapula. So the scapula or your shoulder blade it's flat. It has a lot of muscle attachments that help us move our arms in relation to our torso. And a lot of the skull bones. So the ones that form the brain case or the cranium, those are going to be flat bones that offer protection, but we also have muscles attached there. So the masseter muscle, which moves our lower jaw up and down, is attached broadly on these skull bones. The fourth type is kind of a catch-all, irregular. These have complex shapes. Examples of these would be our vertebrae. Very complex shape, but it serves a purpose. They interlock, they help protect our spine, and they help protect blood vessels that run down along them. We also have the calcaneus. And the calcaneus is our heel bone. It has a rather irregular shape. Some of the skull bones are crazy complex. So there's one called the sphenoid that basically looks kind of like one of those ink blot butterflies that you might have seen in psychological tests. It has a really strange shape, but it helps form the base of our skull and part of our face structure. And then the last one, everybody has these. They are called sesamoid bones. And this literally means sesame shaped, or sesame seed shaped, rather. These are very small and develop within high stress tendons. And the best example that everybody has is the patella. So the patella resides within a tendon, the patellar tendon, and helps form the knee joint. But that bone is not really attached to any other bone, and it develops because that is a very high stress joint, so it offers more protection. So some people will develop these in other tendons, especially if they put their body underneath a lot of stress or one particular area. So certain professional sports people might develop these. Let's say that it's a pitcher in Major League Baseball. They might develop these in their elbow, in one of the tendons in their elbow that gets stressed a lot. So they can form, and some of these are as small as a piece of rice or smaller, but they help solidify that tendon a little bit more, but they could also cause a little bit of problems.